This is Tony with Dubb and the Connection Loop podcast. And today we've got Troy Holt, Chief Encouragement Officer. And we're really excited today to talk about empathy and leadership in the workplace and in marketing. So Troy, go ahead and give us a little introduction about yourself.
Great. Again, thank you, Tony, and also Ruben for this opportunity to be on the podcast and to share a little bit about myself. Again, my name is Troy Holt. I own a company called Troy Holt Consulting, and basically, one of my chief aims and chief goals is to share with people to use kindness. You can never go wrong with kindness. And my company focuses on three areas. It focuses on relationship marketing, leadership, and also financial services. The relationship marketing piece is where I use kindness strategies to build relationships with people. And in turn, by you building a relationship with people, that causes people to want to do business with you because you care. And we live in a time where people really needs to know that that they care and they are concerned, not just about a profit, but about the person themselves. And my philosophy is let's make sure we put people over profits. Let's put relationship over revenue. And let's put making an impact over making an income. And I believe we do that, not only will we reap the rewards financially, but also we will make an impact and a legacy with people.
I absolutely love that. And I'm going to go deep right away because I feel like you're the kind of person I could do this with, Troy.
Sure.
Oftentimes when people are advocating for this, it's because they've had a story. So is there something that really kind of happened in your life or your career that has encouraged you to lead with kindness in your business?
I wouldn't say that. My title I came up with was for my company. You know, it's a kind of a little play on words, Chief Encouragement Officer. However, that's my personality. It's just not a title. I live that. And so in encouraging people, you know, for an example, Tony, you could, if you know, especially if I know you, and let's say we're texting, you send me a text, and I say, "Hey, Tony, how are you doing?" And you say, "Fine, okay." You may ask me, "Well, Troy, how are you doing?" And I say, "I'm well. I can't complain." You may come back, and I might say, "Well, how are you doing?" You may say, "Okay." So my next question, and a lot of my friends know this, when I say this, I said, define okay. Because what I'm doing is we're creatures of habit. And especially if a person is normally saying, "Hey, I'm well, I'm good, whatever," then they say, "Okay," I'm detecting that there's something wrong. And therefore, I'm not just asking, "Are you okay?" because just for formality. I really want to know that you're okay. And if not, then what's going on? Do you want to share it? Sometimes people just need somebody to listen. They just need to vent. And so sometimes I have a saying is listen to the message behind the message. Don't just sometimes what is not spoken is I'm messing it up. Listen to what is not said. Sometimes that speaks louder than what is said. And so it's just, I haven't had a story, but I have a caring heart, and I want to be able to, make an impact. My legacy, Tony, when I leave the earth and people come to my funeral, I want them to say that Troy always tried to make an impact. That's what I want my legacy to be.
I love that. So there's no adversity that's behind this. This is just something and that's kind of rare to hear, actually. So This is just kind of like, this is who
I've been through some adversity. Yeah, I've had some adversities. It's just, but it wasn't, the adversity wasn't to start this, but yes, but no, it wasn't. It's just been a natural part of my just personality. I'll always believe that there's a saying that you can draw more bees with honey than you can vinegar. Now, granted, I'm no pushover either. I tell people, I say, you get on one side, I can be a lamb, but you get on one side, I'm gonna be a lion. So you don't want to see that side. Uh,
Let's talk about that balance, because I think oftentimes a lot of people struggle, because right now what you've been explaining to me is empathy. So empathy and emotional intelligence, basically. And I think it's really important to educate people on the difference between having compassion and being a pushover. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, you have. This is especially when you have children. I have a son. I have a 27-year-old son. I'm older than I look. So I have a 27-year-old son, and there were times that I wanted to, be real hard, but there were times that being hard wasn't the wisest thing. Here's a classic example. A young lady, she goes and get pregnant. Many times people talk about her, shame her, or down her. She doesn't need that. She knows she made a mistake by getting pregnant, and now the man's not he's not exempt. He's responsible too, but she knows that. What she needs at that particular time, she needs somebody to show her love, show her the care that, hey, you can still overcome. You can still accomplish your goals. So it's looking insightfully, and looking at people and being able to detect that person maybe not need me to be real harsh at this time. They may need a little compassion. And I take it, I'm a believer. I take it like Jesus, when Jesus caught the woman, when they brought the woman that was caught in adultery, and Jesus told the woman, he said, neither do I condemn you, where your accusers, neither do I condemn thee, go and sin no more. So he showed her compassion, but also he didn't condemn her. And right. so I think balance sometimes is hard, because there's time that, sometimes a person need a belt. Then there's sometimes a person need just a talking to. And so sometimes we make the mistake, especially as parents, sometimes we make the mistake. We went the opposite direction than we should have. I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, well, I think that's a great example, but can we maybe explain it in like the business world as well? Like, I think that's great from like a personal standpoint, but how can people,
In the business world, sometimes you may have somebody who working a job, and they may make a mistake, and they may be genuinely regret and sorrowful that they made the mistake. And there's time they don't need for you to come and beat them over the head and say, I'm going to write them up because it was a genuine mistake. Sometimes they just need, hey, you made a mistake. Let's figure out why and let's fix it. And I think Gary Vee said this, that a lot of people are quick to fire. No, I'm sorry. Simon Sinek said a lot of people are quick to fire, and it should be the opposite. It should be slow to hire. Simon Sinek said this, for an example. Another one, and he used this example. A person, they had sales, okay, and the sales went down. So we come in, the company, they pushing sales. If you don't get the sales up, we're going to fire you tomorrow, or we're going to fire you in 30 days. Well, why not investigate and say, hey, Tony, I noticed that your sales are down. Is there something going on?
Right.
Are there problems at home? Are there problems on the job? Sometimes people are going through a phase in life that they don't share, and we don't take the time because we don't really care, because we're just pushing numbers. Remember, people over profits, and we don't really dig to find out what's really going on. What's the real issue? Sometimes it is a work production issue, but many times people have other things going on in life that if we just sit down and encourage them and talk to them, that may motivate them to do better.
Yeah, I think that's a great point because I think a lot of times people are kind of scared to go to that place in the workplace.
Mhm.
And I think the more that we open up, it's not like you have to give all of the details, right? But I think
Correct.
if we have this understanding that something's going on at home or something's
Right.
going on with my health. I think that's the problem. Many times people don't know where to draw that line. They either spill all of the details or
Right.
they're not telling their bosses anything and just hoping that they're just gonna not see that their performance isn't as good.
Right.
So I think, balance is a key word here,
Yeah.
as far as that goes. But let's get into this concept of relationship marketing because
Okay.
I really love to hear, how you came up with this. Is this a term that you came up with or that you use for your personal branding?
It's not a term that I came up with. It's a term actually I think is coined by uh, Cody Bateman. Now, this is who I first heard it from. I don't know if he's the original person. And Cody Bateman's philosophy is, it's all about building a relationship with a person or people before you try to pitch them. Here's the big problem I see, and it's a pet peeve of mine. Now remember the line side of me, Tony,
Mhm.
on LinkedIn, and this on all the social media, but specifically LinkedIn. You get a connection request, you accept. 5 minutes later, maybe 10 minutes later, in your inbox, you get a pitch talking about some type of thing that they have. And I did a video recently, and the video was like, so I said it like this. So my name is Troy. I have the largest company in the world. I have the best product. I can help you make $1 million. I can do this and I can do that. Now, what does that sound like, Tony?
What does it sound like?
Yeah, if you heard me, and I liken it to if a person went on a date
Right.
and all they started doing was just talking about how good they are, but they never asked the person a question. What are their goals? What are their dreams? What do they like? It will be all selfish, and that's how that looks when we get these pitches.
Right.
Another analogy is if you are sick and you have a headache, migraine headache, you go to the doctor, and if the doctor pulls out a his prescription pad and then he writes you metformin. Metformin is a diabetic medication. You would say, "Wait, hold up, doctor. That's medical malpractice. You prescribe and haven't even diagnosed."
Mm.
And that's what happened when people pitch you in the inbox. They prescribe a
Right.
sales pitch before diagnosis. How do you diagnose? You ask questions. Where does it, Tony? Well, how long have you had the headache? Well, when did it start? What have you done to try to take the pain? You ask who, what, when, why, where questions to find out if you have the prescription to fulfill that person. Well, people don't do that. So part of the asking the questions, that's how you build relationships, because you're trying to find out more about that person, not necessarily to just sell them, but find out, can you help them? Can you add value to them? And
Right.
people take that approach. They say people buy whom they know, like, and trust. When a person know that I care, and I want to go back to something we were talking about in the workplace. I believe many people do not share their what they're going through because they don't feel that people will keep it confidential.
Right. Right.
They don't trust a person to keep something confidential. And so I think many times is why people don't share what they're going through, because they're afraid of that. And so, a leader should be very confidential and keep it, to protect that person, to where they always will come. But that's a relationship marketing. It's all about building relationship. We buy from whom we know, like, and trust.
Right, right. No, you're making some really great points, and I still don't understand to this day why people are using that method. And I actually use it for an opportunity now that I have Dubb to send them a personal video. I go check out their profile. I ask them something personal because it's just it feels so unnatural.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't understand why people think it's an effective sales strategy or just human to human strategy in general. So
Right.
I'm glad you brought that up. And I saw something on your LinkedIn page that really caught my attention. And you said that it takes energy to create a relationship. So I think many times people are like, this is the quick and easy way to
Right.
to go through their to-do list,
Right.
Yeah. And it takes energy. That means like checking out the person's, posts, like seeing where they're from, where they went to college. Instead of just copying, pasting, a general.
Right. It's a long-term. It's a long-term. I'm in the long-term game.
Right.
And I'm Tony. I might not never do business with you, but I'm always. It's good to have a friend. So if we don't never do any business, if I don't ever sell you or pitch you, and I have a friend, and so I meet people virtually, and so me and my wife, Tony, where are you located?
Houston, Texas, currently.
Houston, Texas, and we come into Houston, and I might call you up. Hey, Tony, my wife and I, we in Houston for some business. Can we get together for lunch? That's the type of person I am. That relationship.
Right.
You might not never do business with me, but you may know some people. Hey, I got Troy here. Have you done business? No, but I know him. He has integrity. I think you should do business with him.
Right. No, I completely agree. It's all about connections and timing. Yeah. I think that it's so crazy, all of the amazing people that I've met throughout the years and how all of it kind of comes together and connects at some point in my career, which I think is so cool. Right. And divinely inspired, right? Divine timing, trusting in that timing.
Yes.
So let's move to the kindness a little bit more, because I think that, again, this is something that it's a word that we're familiar with, but how do you integrate this into the workplace as a skill set to have? Because it's very important.
Well, let me tell you one thing that I do. So my philosophy, I have a philosophy, and it goes like this. I look for people for appreciation, celebration, and consolation. Let me say that again. Appreciation, celebration, and consolation. These are my key principles of building relationships with people, especially virtually. And first one, appreciation. When we appreciate people for things that they do, a simple thank you, it makes a person wants to do more because you took the time to appreciate them. Okay. So I look for opportunities to show appreciation with people. The second one is celebration. People all the time are having graduations, birthdays, promotions. What else? Child, a new home. All these are opportunities to celebrate with people. No one really likes to celebrate by themselves. Mm-hmm. So when you can celebrate and really sincerely be excited about their happiness or success, that's huge. And then consolation is when everybody in life have a loss. When you can say something or do something to console a person during a time of loss. You're not trying to sell anything. You're just trying to be a source of encouragement. And my philosophy is celebrate people in their wins and comfort them in their losses. And for an example, I use a system called send out cards. I don't know if you ever heard of that. And right. And so I implement my strategy using send out cards. So take like Facebook. I'm doing it more on LinkedIn, but take like Facebook. So a person have a dog that passed. That's a loss. Okay, they are touched because pets are like children to some people. So what I'll do is I will send them a private message. Hey, I'm sorry for your loss, and would you mind sending me a good mailing address? I don't say home address. I say a good mailing address because I don't want a person think I'm trying to stalk them. 99% of the time, a person going to send me their mailing address. So I take those pictures of that pet, put it on the card, put a little note, and send it to them.
I love that. And so is that a website that people can go to?
Yeah, they can go to. I have to send the link because if they decide that they want to do it, it'll be under me.
I got it.
Yeah,
don't worry about it. I'll scroll it down the bottom.
Okay, yeah, and so but I implement that. So I constantly send people birthday. I send cards, and then what I end up doing. So, for example, that same person who had a pet that passed, if their birthday is on their Facebook, I'll put their birthday in the CRM. So when the birthday come around, I'm sending them a birthday card.
Right.
If the anniversary is on there, I'll put the anniversary in there too. If the anniversary come around, wedding anniversary, I'm gonna send them a wedding anniversary card.
I love that. That.
Yeah, and so I'm doing appreciation. If somebody done something for me, I'll send them a thank you card, appreciation, celebration, and consolation, and I do those to build the relationship to show, hey, I'm with you.
I love it. Okay, Troy, I want you to kind of close things out because I think a lot of people love what you're talking about, but then they're probably curious, like, how do you transition this type of relationship after you're done building the relationship? When do you kind of transition it into the ask or to the actual sales transaction?
Great question. Well, remember, I'm long term. So for me, it's not a short term, I'm a long term. So many times, what I do is when I've someone said this, give, and give more. So I've given. So now I've earned at least the right to approach you.
Right.
Because I've never tried to take, I've always given.
Right.
And so how I transition, depends on what the particular person is, who the person is. It all depends. For example, part of my business is in financial services. So then I may go to asking questions. Hey, I'm going to transition to, contact them, see how they're doing, make sure, they're okay. Hey, have you considered, are you in debt? Have you considered about long-term debt? Just kind of start probing and asking questions. But I've earned the right because they trust me now. So again, I'm trying to ask questions to find out, does my product or services, would it suit them? Would it fit them? But it's a long term. It's not a short term that I started at, but I want to build that relationship. So when I do is they won't feel like that I'm just trying to make them a number and sell them. They'll know that I genuinely care.
Right. And usually once you get to that point, you've had enough like casual conversations that when you ask them the question, it doesn't seem unnatural or robotic. It just seems like, oh, you had mentioned this before when we chatted, and you're just kind of bringing it up to offer a possible solution to the problem, right? So I absolutely love that, Troy. And I think you've brought a lot to the table today about speaking, especially about compassion, having that balance of give and take in the workplace, and making sure that you are an active listener and asking questions. So not only asking questions to your employees, but asking questions to your potential clients to understand them more. So Yeah, and I love this term, the relationship marketing, and not just going in for the kill.
Right.
So thank you so much for being on the Connection Loop podcast today, and let everyone know where they can find you.
Yes. And thank you once again. You can find me. I'm on a number of platforms. One platform is you can find me on Twitter at Troy Talks. Also Instagram. I'm sorry, Troy_Talks. Also on Instagram, the same name handle, Troy_Talks. You can find me on LinkedIn at Troy Holt. Also, my podcast is Troy Talks. TroyTalksMe.com. That's my podcast, and also Facebook, Troy Holt. So if you can DM me, you can reach out to me. I will not reject unless you try to pitch me, and now I might change a little bit. But
no pitching Troy right away. Got it, everyone.
Yes. But if you want to talk or got questions or anything I can help assist, I am open. I'll be more than glad to set up a time that we can talk and chat in more details.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, and Happy New Year, everyone.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
Bye.
Bye.